The more invisible I become, the more death I have to endure. Qiao Mu suddenly unleashed his heaven-slaying sword technique, targeting Elder Qingjuo. But in that instant, the strands of Elder Qingjuo's brush twisted through the air, intercepting the strike. A massive explosion erupted. Sword Immortal Lu Yan'an, watching through hazy vision, murmured to himself, still a little lacking. Smoke cleared. Elder Qingjuo's back was visibly scorched and bleeding. He turned his head, narrowed his eyes, and sneered, courting death. With a flick of his wrist, multiple strands of the brush lashed forward like snakes. They pierced Qiao Mu's chest in a flash of cold light. Elder Qingjuo's voice was calm and disdainful. Lu Yan'an, immortals and mortals are different. A mortal sacrifice is meaningless. You yourself have believed this for the past few decades. He tossed Qiao Mu's bloodied body aside like discarded cloth. Then he said coldly, the more bravely you fight, the better a show you put on for our immortal sect. Lu Yan'an, will you continue to be an actor on this stage, or will you jump off the stage and attain eternal life? He turned again, but Lu Yan'an had vanished. He looked to Qiao Mu, also gone. Elder Qingjuo frowned. To think he could slip away right under my nose without a sound? What is the background of that kid? His gaze swept across the endless desert. Run? Where can you escape to in this 100-mile great desert? He let out a low chuckle, absent-mindedly twirling a strand of his hair. It's all right. I'll play this little cat-and-mouse game with you. And far off in the distance, Qiao Mu staggered through the dunes, carrying Lu Yan'an on his back. Lu Yan'an exhaled weakly. I did not expect second brother to have such means. Qiao Mu replied, I raised a little cat that constantly hides in my shadow. It can hide other things. But hiding me can only last for a little while. Just now, while Qingjuo was unprepared, I slipped into the shadows. Wu Chong dragged us in. But he'll probably detect us soon. We need to get as far away from him as possible first. Once we find a safe place, I'll help you heal. Hang in there. Lu Yan'an gave a faint smile. Thanks, second brother. But Qiao Mu only frowned. Your sword technique isn't useful. It couldn't even break that old geezer's defense. You're clearly not at full strength, yet you still wanted to fight him to the death, and ended up like this. Suddenly, Qiao Mu activated a technique, full-body transformation art. He looked back at Lu Yan'an. Didn't you say you had a 20% chance of winning? You weren't joking, right? Lu Yan'an chuckled dryly. Of course not. But everything has a price. What price are you willing to bear? Qiao Mu's tone was steady. Although you and I just met, you should know. There is no one in my Qiao family who is afraid of death. If you need my help in battle, no problem at all. I also have 2 younger brothers. Absolutely reliable. If you need my life as a sacrifice for the sword, feel free to take it. Lu Yan'an's eyes softened. He muttered under his breath, such realization is rare among mortals. Then he asked aloud, What younger brothers? Your 2 flesh and blood clones? One is you, and the other is also you? Qiao Mu blinked. You know? Lu Yan'an gave a wry smile. It's hard not to notice. Second brother, you worry too much. There's no need to sacrifice your life. My sword can kill the heroes of the world, but a mortal martial artist's sword is not enough to slay an immortal. Qiao Mu asked, So there's really no plan at all? Looking at you now. Is it because of excessive blood and qi loss? Can I transfer my blood and qi to you? Lu Yan'an shook his head slowly. It's not from my sect, so it cannot be transferred. Sword Immortal Lu Yan'an asked, Second brother, to what extent have you comprehended the heaven-slaying sword technique? Qiao Mu replied, When I fought your beauty statues before, I think I grasped some sword intent. Lu Yan'an's eyes lit up. Oh? You've actually touched the mystery of slaying the self? With your talent, second brother, that should be enough. Qiao Mu blinked. What? Lu Yan'an continued. In the battle just now, I realized something. The core of the secret realm formation is Qingjuo's natal artifact. If he retrieves it, the secret realm will collapse and everyone inside will turn to dust. Qiao Mu's voice grew tense. You mean, if we can force him to use his natal artifact early to defend himself, he won't have time to retrieve the core? Lu Yan'an nodded. That's right. This way, we can break the secret realm and free Lone City. So next I'll leave it to you, second brother. Green energy swirled around Lu Yan'an's body. A glowing sword began to form in front of Qiao Mu. Lu Yan'an's body slowly turned to stone. A distant voice echoed in Qiao Mu's mind. A mortal sword cannot kill an immortal. To win this battle requires extraordinary means. When you exchange blows with Qingjuo, I will guide you to unleash the true heaven-slaying sword technique. To seek a glimmer of hope. Qiao Mu, stunned, whispered, The price you mentioned is actually yourself. Lu Yan'an's fading voice responded, I am the sword, a mortal for the mortal realm. Today I shall turn my mortal body into a sword. Chao Mu gripped the sword tightly. I shall kill immortals. A few moments later, Chao Mu sat atop a ruined outpost, wind howling through the crumbling walls. Suddenly, a beam of light pierced the sky. Elder Qingzhuo appeared midair, floating just above him. Quite bold, Qingzhuo sneered. To actually show yourself. Where is Lu Yanan? Chao Mu smirked. Your father is here. Qingzhuo's eyes fell on the sword resting on Chao Mu's lap. His expression changed. Lu Yanan? How did you become like this? The path to eternal life is open to you, yet you refuse it and insist on wasting your talent. What kind of evil, deviant path is this, transforming your body into a sword? I used the soldiers and civilians of Lone City to temper your mind for 30 years, and in the end, all my efforts were in vain. Return to the sect with me. I'll ask a powerful figure in the sect to reconstruct your physical body. There's still a chance. Chao Mu cut him off. Old geezer. He already said he doesn't want to. He cultivated freely and reached the peak. He became a sword immortal. Why would he return to your sect, be shackled by you, and fight to the death for your cause? Lu Yanan's voice echoed from the sword, as expected of second brother. He understands me. Qingzhuo trembled in disbelief. The sect master of my sect is one of the few divine transformation cultivators in the world. The path to eternal life can only be walked by the 9 great immortal sects. Mortal martial arts is a dead end. Other sects and rogue cultivators, they're clinging to outdated methods. No matter how high their cultivation, it's difficult to sustain it in the mortal world. But you two, if you're obedient now, I can still bring you back. There is still a chance to enjoy the opportunity for eternal life. Chao Mu narrowed his eyes and lifted the sword. Heh, magnificent words. You seek eternal life. But what right do you have to take others' lives as stepping stones? Qingzhuo's expression darkened. Quite stubborn and unyielding, then you can both die together. He lunged. Chao Mu met his strike with the blade. Their clash sparked waves of force, echoing through the desert. Inside the miniature city, Captain Hai watched from afar and muttered, "Why are there people in this world, like those of the Qiao family, who give up their lives for complete strangers?" When Chao Mu and Qingzhuo's battle raged, moving from rooftop to rooftop, craters forming with each blow, their faces closed in, grins full of tension, then both leapt away. Qingzhuo's brush trembled in midair. He shouted, "Impossible! Even a first-grade martial artist can't fight a nascent soul cultivator for this many rounds." Chao Mu grinned. "You're stupid, old geezer. I'm transcendent grade." Lu Yanan's voice rang out calmly from the blade. The court classifies martial artists into 3, 6, and 9 grades. Just to mimic the 9-rank official system for controlling and paying them. But how can the martial path have a limit? How can it be confined by a mere mortal bureaucracy? The martial path has no ceiling. Its limit will always be surpassed. A martial artist who breaks that limit is transcendent grade. Qingzhuo scoffed. So what? Lu Yanan, you are transcendent grade, but the sword you became only lets a martial artist, barely touching the spirit-refining realm, burst out with transcendent grade strength. He is not truly transcendent. There's a fundamental difference between him and you. He jumped and began writing symbols into the sky. Chao Mu felt the pressure build. The air turned heavy, dust rising around him. He muttered, "Not good." "He's going to directly reclaim the secret realm?" Lu Yanan's voice warned, "Do not waste time. No matter how much blood and qi you have, you cannot afford to waste it. The heaven-slaying sword technique has the power of a single strike. It requires both of us to be of one mind to unleash all our power in that one strike," said Sword Immortal Lu Yanan. Chao Mu frowned. "Both of one mind. That phrase is a bit abstract. How exactly do we become one?" Elder Qingzhuo scoffed. "Do not waste your effort. In these 40 years, many mortals have foolishly resisted, but they all died. Saving Lone City? That is nothing more than a bid for a noble title. This city is destined to perish without a sound. The 9 provinces beyond have long forgotten your existence. Now you have reached the end. Those so-called righteous sacrifices, just like your current struggles, are utterly meaningless." Chao Mu raised his head, eyes firm. "Is it you who gets to define meaning? For 40 years they died just to survive. If not for our predecessors shedding their blood, how could we descendants carry on the legacy?" He raised Sword Immortal Lu Yanan, whose blade began to glow golden. "Heaven-slaying sword technique." Elder Qingzhuo sneered. "At this distance I have more than enough room to dodge." But his voice cut off mid-thought. "What? Can a martial artist's sword chi actually extend for dozens of meters?" He began to sweat, fingers forming signs as the massive slash bore down on him. A few moments later, a figure emerged from the dust cloud. Chao Mu gasped. It worked. Second brother, your blood and chi consumption is too great. Suddenly, Elder Qingzhuo's mocking voice echoed, "Ha ha ha! It is the body-holding technique. You actually forced me to draw out my natal artifact for protection. Impressive, but it ends here." He laughed darkly. "You think just because I withdrew my artifact I am powerless against this city? Your little trick with that basic Tao magic. What a joke. You want to hide everyone and perform a dramatic stunt? Hilarious. You overestimate yourselves. Open your eyes and take a good look. Mortals in the hands of immortals are like ants. With a mere flick, they can be crushed." He gripped the miniature city in his hand and began to squeeze. Qiao Mu's face turned fierce, and a violent energy erupted from his body. "Demonic blood ignition technique, second brother," Sword Immortal Lu Yanan cried. "Your blood and chi are already depleted. If you force yourself to use such a technique, your body will explode. And more importantly, we are still not of one mind. We cannot unleash the true heaven-slaying sword technique." Qiao Mu clenched his fists tighter. "Then I will compensate in other ways. Blood and chi, or life itself, if it can slay the immortals, then take it all," he shouted. "This sword strike is not for death, but for the old and weak of this city. I am searching for a clear path to survival." Lu Yanan was silent, stunned. Elder Qingzhuo said with a strange mix of admiration and mockery, "Ha! Such courage. I must admit, you are both rare talents of the 9 provinces. But sadly, your talents are wasted on the wrong path. Only by clearing the obstacles before you see the road ahead." Suddenly, crimson sparks erupted into the air. Lu Yanan raised his hand and opened a rift in the void. Brilliant energy surged skyward. "Gather!" Qiao Mu became wrapped in lightning-like energy. Sword Immortal Lu Yanan shone with radiant force. Elder Qingzhuo laughed wildly. "Lu Yanan! You have been lazy your entire life, but now, on the brink of death, you choose to become a stubborn, righteous fool. You burn your divine soul just to help this boy swing a sword? You are insane." Then he whispered to himself, "Thoughts, confusion. He broke my body-holding spell with sword intent alone? A talent like this, another will not appear for 1,000 years. He must return to the sect. He must enter my immortal sect." Qiao Mu stomped the ground, cracking the stone beneath his feet. He soared into the air, hovering above Elder Qingzhuo with the blade poised. "Dream on, old geezer," he roared. "Die immortal." He swung the sword. A crimson wave of energy surged forward. Elder Qingzhuo's eyes widened. He hastily amplified his barrier. "Ah!" Qiao Mu and Lu Yanan screamed in unison as the strike collided. The explosion rang like 100 gongs. Qiao Mu spat blood as the shockwave rocked the earth. Cracks split through Elder Qingzhuo's barrier. "Heaven's will! Heaven's will!" Elder Qingzhuo shouted. "This is the weakness of martial artists. Too little blood and chi, too short a lifespan." Qiao Mu laughed wildly, blood dripping from his mouth. "Ha ha ha!" Elder Qingzhuo snarled, "Slaying immortals? Breaking the city? It is impossible. Forever!" Suddenly war drums sounded in the distance. "What? What is that sound?" Elder Qingzhuo muttered. Qiao Mu turned his head. "Wait. That sound? War drums?" Behind him stood the souls of fallen soldiers, beating their drums with unwavering spirit. At their lead was General Li Shanga shouting, "The Yangtze army is here to assist." He raised his war drum and pounded with all his heart. Thank you so much for watching. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to help me grow my channel. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. Let's keep the conversation going and get those analytics buzzing. Until next time, take care.